Here this afternoon at the Grosvenor Hotel in dear old London, Victoria Station, with a good old friend of mine, Jeffery. Okay, brand.
Yep.
Lots of debate all around the web at the moment on what an employment brand is. What's your take, since you do it for a living?
Okay, so the key thing here is to differentiate between product brand and employment brand. The product brand is effectively, put most simply, is that gut feeling, that gut reaction to a product, service or organisation. So when I say to you Nike or McDonald's or any term like that, you'll get a sort of feeling for the brand and you have a gut reaction whether you like it or not. From an employment perspective, it's creating that employment brand of whether you want to work for that company, whether it's seen as a great place to work, and that's different from the normal product brand. So hence at EA we've been devoting a lot of time at creating a product brand and also an employment brand which is seen as a great place to work for both internal staff and obviously new candidates coming in.
So what have you, because you've won lots of awards for the work you've done,
yeah.
What have you at EA been doing differently that makes you stand out from a very competitive crowd?
So the key thing is what we do is we recognise that life is a very interconnected world, particularly online, and that allows for two-way real communication and feedback. So what we've said is let's open up our company, let's reveal the onion skin, peel back and see what's beneath that, and show our company, its culture, our people. So effectively, particularly through the social media, we've opened ourselves up to our fans and to community to communicate two-way with us, tell us what they think, tell us what they feel, debate with us, critique us, and that's a great position to be in from an employment brand perspective, two-way communication.
I was having a debate recently about the employment brand, and an employment brand expert I respect hugely said it actually starts at board level. There has to be engagement. What did you guys do to get buy-in from this global organisation to the concept of the employment brand?
Okay, so an employment brand is not an HR thing or a recruitment thing, it's a company-wide thing. So what we were to do was to set up a cross-function global steering committee focused on the employment brand, and that was headed up by one of our global presidents, Peter Moore, and he's a member of the executive team. So amongst that we had representatives from marketing, from PR, from the business, from HR, from recruitment, leaders from business functions, etc. And we worked as a group to define what our employment brand was, how we wanted to be portrayed in the marketplace, and then Peter Moore represented us at board level, because you're right, an employment brand is not only top down but is also bottom up, so you need that two-way feeling about what your organisation is like. The problem with a lot of companies is that they try to create their employment brand and go out into the market with something which is false. So at the end of the day, when you're on the social networks, if you say your company's different from how it's portrayed or how the staff feel it, you'll soon get caught out on those social networks and people will pan you. So what you have to say, you have to live and breathe an employment brand and be realistic about it when you're talking about yourself.
How do you measure it? How do you measure whether it's being successful? Because I know you are passionate about measurability.
Yeah, so the key thing is that you do need to measure a return on investment. So when you're setting up things to have two-way communication, there's a number of things you can do. So if you set up a Facebook fan page, you can see the number of people that are initially joining up and becoming fans. You can track the number of countries where they're coming from. You can track and watch the number of comments, how your comment threads are performing, how many times you're being recommended on other sites, etc. And from there you can track the pipeline coming to your job site. So how many people are coming from Facebook into jobs.ea.com, then how does that translate into effectively candidate pipeline and then bums on seats. So the key thing with any of this social media, which we'll talk about later, is what is the return on investment. At the start, you have to look at it as you're building up a relationship, you're building up a brand, and some of these are quite fluffy and not so measurable. At the end of the day, the goal is bums on seats. But if you're taking people on that journey from being a candidate or a proposition or a fan right through to the hire, then that's a journey which takes some time and it needs to build trust. An employment brand is what builds trust.